gosh, I'm in my existential crisis. How do I find mental clarity? 1, 2, and 3. 1 stands for monolinking, 2 stands for bidirectional linking, 3 stands for tridirectional linking. Hello you all, welcome back. I am Priscilla and I'm a dental and psychology student. We're all individuals with a brain that tells us to zap and decide instantly. But sometimes our mind just gives us a fog. Bidirectional linking is your good mate and is my Australian accent online right now. And in this video, we're gonna cover REM notes, bidirectional linking, principles, concepts, and how to use those functions depending on what situation. So let's start. So where does bidirectional linking come from? It appeared in Vanner Bush's article called As We Think. He dreamt of a machine called Mavic, which is a note-taking device that allows you to link between notes with hypertext. But at 1945, this idea went dormant since personal computers and internet aren't that hyped up.
2,000 years later.
When personal computers and internet became more popular, hyperlink became a thing that existed. So when you're navigating and surfing through the web, I can actually surf, and surfing is so fun, and you click on a hyperlink, you are sent to another website to fulfill your curiosity on this bolded text. This is called monolinking. The websites point you to another direction. The problem with the World Wide Web's monolinking is that those two websites does not know each other exist. They don't know their relationship. And we all know that cultivating and establishing relationship makes us happy, so why not make them aware of each other? Bidirectional linking and web pages are real life features. Hey yo. You. Yes, you. I'm referencing you. Huh? I know you're referencing me. Both websites knows each other's existence. To apply the social awareness of bidirectional linking in school, it may be information across 2 different subjects like anatomy and physiology. Since form follows function, you can relate information from different subjects and associate them in your memory and make studying more interesting. Because before we dive into them, there are a few principles that we should go over. I feel like no one talks about the basics of all basics of bidirectional linking and what are some structuring knowledge 101 concepts. And the first principle, it means that breaking down complex knowledges into smaller pieces. So in the FS block, the first principle is explained like this: to take something apart, test the assumptions and reconstruct it. We end up trapped in what other people tell us, trapped in the way things have been presented and done for us. When the environment changes, we just continue as if things were the same. And second one is listing them in a hierarchical way that you can understand them. Every situation, the building blocks and first principles are remixed. If we as a learner grasp those first principles, we will be able to learn things faster. Breaking things down to first principles and basic logic and concepts allows us to understand those big ideas. The third one is, after breaking those complex ideas, we should build up. This is where you reconstruct your knowledges using bidirectional linking and form mental models from those first principles. If you ask me what's the purpose of the standard operation process, there's 2 reasons for this. Because the first one is to bypass the cognitive ability of the working memory, because the working memory only holds plus or minus 7 items, and real life problems are so complex and they don't exist in only 7 pieces. But mostly real life problems are more complex than plus or minus 7 items for us to solve, and allows us to not flood this resource. The next purpose is the generation effect. Studies have shown that if you write notes and your understanding with your own words, things generate content from things you read, those information will be retained better. So before we dive into the REM notes function, we want to understand the concept descriptor framework. So REM note is based on this concept descriptor framework. Descriptor is the big term. Concepts are things that describe the descriptor's term. For example, camera is an object that takes photos and videos. Concepts that fall under the camera are lens, aperture, and ISO, shutter speed, and those concepts explain what a camera does. Let's speak of REM note. There are so many methods of linking. In REM note, each REM is a bullet point that you can reference anywhere by pressing the double bracket. But sadly, you can't reference pictures or videos. So let's hop on the car and walk through a textbook example in Biology 101 for using this double bracket. It's the first day of college, and I remember being alone walking into the lecture hall and trying to find a seat and not get caught on by the professor. So here we go to the good old days of the first day of college. First day of college. That seems like 3 years ago already. Anyways, the human body is made of trillions of cells, right? And of course, biology, we start with learning the structure and components of the cell. As first, I would type down the definition of a cell, which is the basic unit function of a living organism. And then I would type tab into another level of hierarchy because components of cells, this concept falls under the descriptor of cells. I would type organelles, cytoplasm, and cell membrane. And then let's start defining those terms. Cytoplasm is the liquid that floats within the cell, and organelles are the little organs and units of function that functions within. And then the cell membrane is a selective permeable phospholipid bilayer for oxygen, water, and CO2 to pass membrane by passive or active transport. Whenever I want to expand on those terms, I can press the double bracket to reference the term and type more definition on this vocabulary, such as active transport or passive transport. When I type double brackets, this term will be bolded in blue, and when I click on it, it will have a hashtag stub on the side. It means that it's a placeholder for new ideas that need to be searched up. Besides searching up and defining new terms, if a term repeatedly comes out during my lecture, I would also make this term a linked reference. For example, if I continue down the lecture and taking notes on the different type of organelles, I would definitely use this word again. And the example that I have right here is mitochondria, a organelle for generating ATP. And then ribosome, an organelle for protein synthesis. In this case, organelle, this word is used many times, and I can make this word a bidirectional link. When I click on this word, under this page of notes, I will see all the references that I have mentioned this word organelle. Even in those apps, they have a unlinked references. When I have not intentionally linked this word will also be categorized in this unlinked place, and I can choose whether to link it or not. This is just a science example. If you guys are keen to finding non-science examples, maybe I can try to make a series on using RemNote studying with history, physics, English, and other subjects, because knowledge are all building blocks and first principles of each other. And during the process of constructing your notes, I can also use hierarchical search. This means that you can view your hierarchical structure of notes during your search. So to search up a component of a cell, I can type organelle and click tab. I can see all of the organelles that is under the hierarchy named organelles. And I can click shift tab to see the bigger topics that organelles fall under. Remember, the double brackets is the king of the all kings. Just remember this and you're all set to go. And then the next function is portal. Dun, dun, dun. You can teleport from one place to another. Literally, this word portal just means that your notes can exist in multiple locations in your database. When you edit your note in one place, it will also update in another place. So you may ask, what can I use this for? And then for the next week, we're going on to a biology lecture numero 2. Biología lectura. Spanish are screaming too. To continue, we might want to review some information from the previous lecture of the basic components of the cell, because we might need to compare the organelles and cell components of eukaryotes and prokaryotes. In this case, I can bring up the cells lecture and organelles from lecture 1 using portals, so I can review those information before I start taking notes for lecture 2. Portals not only exist in multiple databases, and they can also exist in multiple flashcard subjects. This is how fluid and flowy RemNote allows you to construct your knowledge base. Portal from lecture 1 to lecture 2, and voila! I think the Frenches are screaming. And I can use this lucrative knowledge function to linking knowledge. I love how RemNote makes it so easy and versatile to link things from one lecture to the other and make learning from school a cumulative process too. Not like, oh, I finished the lecture and bye, I'm done with this lecture. The next function with bidirectional linking is universal descriptors. You may ask, what the heck is this? And hold on, I will explain the whole thing to you. No worries. So if those descriptors and concepts keep on repeating, we can organize them into a template knowledge. So how do you create a template within RemNote? It is very easy. I'll explain it right now. First step is to create a page called template. And then with the new bullet point, I type the template's name and then enter and then tab. And in here is how your actual template looks. So for example, if I constantly take notes on a research paper, the template may look like this, with abstract, material and methods, data analysis, conclusion, and related sources. Whenever I read a scientific paper, I can use this template to take notes. And then after I have typed all my bullet points under the name of the template, I would change those bullet points into a slot. You can go to any page, you can search up this template with the hashtag button. And then to add add all the templates sub-bullet points into my current document of taking notes on the academic paper, I can press Command Option P. They will be inputted directly here. Those templates functions are universal descriptors because when you take notes using this template, every note that associated with this template will be linked to this. See this like little squiggly twisted paperclip thing on the corner of each template bullet point? When you click on it, you can see all the notes that are linked to this. Another example for using this knowledge template can be when I take notes on books and concepts, it will be quotes and evergreen concepts. And for school contexts, and I need to take notes on many types of oral pathologies, I can make a template like such as this. Oral pathologies or disease, which is the title of the template, and what falls under the sub-bullet points of this template will be name of disease and treatment, diagnostic test, and symptoms. So for the next type of linking option, it's hashtags. To use this hashtag, press the double this button, I don't know how to say it, and it will appear as a little hashtag on the side. The concept of this hashtag link is to use the expression that A is a type of B. For example, I'm taking a bunch of notes on diseases. I would type the hashtag beside each disease, and whenever I want to look at all my diseases that I take notes on, I can click on this disease hashtag and all of them will exist. Just think of them as Instagram hashtag. This is the best example. Or when I'm doing project management and I want to know what the status of the project is, I can tag it as done, in progress, or research. And to offer you convenience, here is a table on when you can use each type of linking. How you can use hierarchical search, bidirectional linking, portals, hashtags, and templates with universal descriptors. Here's more videos on RevNote and Rome research because I am a nerd like that and I love those technology things and I might learn coding in the future. Be mindful and remember that happiness is a choice and don't believe in what you think. And thank you for tuning in and nerding with me about all those functions. Really, a big thumbs up and thank you.